I hear people talking about the need to balance rights in different ways, and that you can't really think about rights as an absolute. So I think you've put this in other contexts as, you know, here's an example. The press are responsible for covering all kinds of events, and there's a trial. And so we want there to be a fair trial for the accused, you know, all the principles that apply there. But what about the right of other people to know through the press having access to all these things? So you've got, on the one hand, we've got the right to a fair trial. And on the other hand, we've got people's right to know. And it seems like there's a clash, and you have to know, someone has to adjudicate that kind of clash. So how would you sort of approach that kind of issue?
It's already to adjudicate an apparent clash. The adjudication is the determination by the courts of who has the right, who actually has the right, not by decree, but by logic and reason. And that's the job of ultimately the Supreme Court. But the important thing to realize, it's not realized today, is that there can be no conflict of rights. You only balance them because you think there's a conflict. There cannot be a conflict of rights because anyone who thinks there is doesn't know what a right is. A right is the principle for resolving conflicts. So there can't be any conflict among properly understood conflict resolving principles. So just like the right of way in boating, I'm a sailor, used to be, and if two boats are approaching each other, the convention is the guy on the starboard tack, whose wind is coming over his starboard port, has the right of way, and the other one has to give way. It can't be that both of them have the right to make the other one give way. It can't be that neither of them may move until the other one has. So the rights in politics are like the rights of way. They decide who gets to choose and who must forbear. So the very purpose of rights is to not be balanced, is to say we're not balancing here, we're finding out who is the morally proper chooser in this case. Now, in this concrete of the public's right to know versus right to a fair trial, there is no such thing as the public's right to know. You have no right to know, meaning to be provided with information by others at no cost, regardless of who owns that information. The press has no special rights also. There's no, the press claims the right to protect their sources against a subpoena to reveal their sources. There are not the rights of man and then the rights of the press, of journalists. Journalists have no additional rights that above what you have. So if you have a right to keep quiet about who told you something, then so does the journalist. If you don't, neither does the journalist. So this comes from a collectivist orientation about rights. Well, society has to be informed. Society does not exist. Only individuals exist, and society is a name for a group of them interacting under a common understanding. So there's never, in principle, can never be a clash of rights, and you can never balance them because they're absolute.